You're listening to the Matt the Stat Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Matt the Stat, where we talk about football, baseball, basketball, and everything sports. So today, I have got a great show for you guys today, and for the first time in quite some time, I'll be talking to you guys about some Major League Baseball. Yes, the playoffs started just this week, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the Cincinnati Reds taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers in LA. And I can't wait to talk to you guys about this because it's the best of three. It's the wild card. And, you got the defending champs going up against a team in the Cincinnati Reds. They're a young team. It took until the last day of the regular season for the Cincinnati Reds to even make the playoffs. So the Reds are in it under new manager Terry Francona, who has done a great job and a fantastic job getting the Cincinnati Reds to the playoffs. And then, of course, you got Dave Roberts and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Yes, they are the defending World Series champions. They are back in the playoffs. And not only that, the Dodgers, they are looking to defend that crown that they won last year in the World Series against the New York Yankees. But that being said, before I give you my analysis and my recap of the game, I hope you guys are enjoying the beginning of your weekend because, well, we have another exciting weekend of not just baseball, but we also have an exciting weekend of football, college football on Saturday. You got pro football on Sunday. So that's all coming up. And you know what? I just had to say, I haven't talked about Major League Baseball in a while, and I had to come on here and talk about some Major League Baseball. And that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to go over games 1 and 2 in this series, and we're going to start with game 1. Hunter Greene pitching for the Cincinnati Reds. You have Blake Snell pitching for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And really nothing happened in the top of the first, but in the bottom of the first, Shohei Ohtani would start the scoring off with a home run to right field. And, well, what a way to start for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Shohei Ohtani hitting a home run to begin the scoring. And, no better start for the Dodgers. So that was really their only score in the first inning. The next time the Dodgers would get on the board, it would be in the bottom of the third after the Reds pitcher Hunter Greene gives up back-to-back walks to Freeman and Muncy. Teoscar Hernandez would hit a 3-run homer to make it a 4-0 Dodgers lead. The Dodgers offense off to a very fast start. And so it's 4-0 Dodgers after the Teoscar Hernandez 3-run home run. It's 4-0 Dodgers, but the next hitter to come up behind Teoscar Hernandez, Tommy Edman, would also hit a home run, and Tommy Edman was a big part of the Dodgers winning the World Series last year. Tommy Edman played extremely well for the Dodgers, and last year in the postseason, and that's what led the Dodgers to go on to win the World Series last year, thanks to the performance of Tommy Edman. But back-to-back home runs from Teoscar Hernandez, which was a 3-run homer, and then you have Tommy Edman, was just a solo home run. It's 5-0 Dodgers, and then in the 5th inning, Teoscar would homer again in the 5th inning. That would also be a solo home run, and it's now 6-0 Dodgers. And then in the 6th inning, after a Kike Hernandez single, Ohtani would come up, and for the second time in this game, Shohei Ohtani would hit a home run. And this time it was a bomb. It was about a 454-foot home run from Shohei Ohtani. I mean, he literally hit it to the top of the right field stands out there in about right center field. And, I mean, absolute monster home run from Shohei Ohtani. He would just extend the lead for the Dodgers. And then Mookie Betts would come up, and he would be hit by a pitch. And then a double from Freddie Freeman. But the Dodgers, they would not get any more after that, after Max Muncy would strike out. And it's now 8-0 Dodgers. And then in the 7th inning, the Reds would finally respond with their first run of the game after loading the bases, not loading the bases, but with 2 men on. the Cincinnati Reds rookie sensation, Elly De La Cruz, who's kind of had a rough year this year. He's not really been able to hit the curveball. That's been one of his biggest arch nemesis, is trying to hit a curveball. I mean, every time teams throw him a curveball, he seemingly whiffs and misses. But Elly De La Cruz, he would be out a double play to get the Reds on the board. It's now 8-1 Dodgers, and then Tyler Stevenson would come up and hit a double to score another run, and now it's 8-2 Dodgers. Then the Dodgers, they would respond with a Rojas single. Then a batter later, Alex Call, coming up to pinch hit for Kike Hernandez, would hit a triple to make it 9-2 Dodgers. So Dodgers just extend their lead, but it's not over. The catcher, Ben Rortvedt, starting in place of the injured Will Smith, who has a hairline fracture in his hand. Even though he was available to come off the bench, he did not play or start. But Ben Rortvedt would come up, he would hit an RBI single, and it's now 10-2 Dodgers. But then in the 8th inning, after a brilliant outing from Blake Snell, the Dodgers bullpen, well, if any of you follow the Dodgers real closely, know that the bullpen has been shaky all year long for the Dodgers. And, well, the Dodgers and manager Dave Roberts, they would get a scare from their bullpen. And in that inning, in the 8th inning, that would see the bullpen walk in 3 runs before Blake Trinan would finally end the inning, and it's now 10-5. It's now a 10-5 Dodgers lead. So it's only a 5-run lead for the Dodgers. The Dodgers would win the score in the 8th, and they would close out the game to win it by the final score of 10-5. Would be the final score in Game 1 of the wild card. So Dodgers, they take the first game, dominating performance from Blake Snell, dominating performance from the offense. I mean, you had Shohei Ohtani hit 2 home runs. You had Teoscar Hernandez hit 2 home runs. And not only that, Teoscar Hernandez accounted for 4 runs batted in that game. So, I mean, to be honest with you, Teoscar Hernandez, he was outstanding. I mean, the second home run that he hit, it was kind of a breaking ball that kind of hung. He ended up hitting it. He crushed it to right. And, I mean, the rest is history. So the Dodgers, they played really well. And not only that, they knocked out Hunter Green after just 3 innings. So they knocked the Red starting pitcher out, Hunter Green, who is an absolute fireballer. I mean, the guy can throw in the hundreds. I mean, he was throwing about, I think the fastest he threw in that game was about 101 miles per hour. So Hunter Green was really pitching really had been pitching well for the Cincinnati Reds. And, he kind of struggled in that game. The Shohei Ohtani home run happened. And then, you kind of started to see him being able to settle down, make his pitches, get some outs. But he still made some mistakes. And, the Reds bullpen didn't really help very much. So Dodgers dominating victory in Game 1. Then we go to Game number 2. And, of course, we all know best of 3 series. And for this game, the Dodgers, they would need to win this game to advance to the next round. So, in the top of the first inning, well, this time instead of the Dodgers drawing first blood, it was the Cincinnati Reds drawing first blood with after a Teoscar Hernandez error, which saw a pop fly, and Teoscar Hernandez would have the ball go off the heel of his glove, which would put Reds runners in scoring position. Sal Stewart would come up and hit a 2 RBI single to make it 2-0 Cincinnati. Then in the 3rd inning, the Dodgers would answer with a Rortvedt double, then a Betts single to make it a 2-1 Reds lead. So Mookie Betts gets the RBI single. Then in the 3rd inning, then in the 4th inning, Muncy will hit a single followed by a Kike Hernandez RBI double to tie it at 2-2. The next hitter, Rojas, would hit an RBI single to make it a 3-2 Dodgers lead. So the Dodgers would reclaim the lead in the fourth inning. And, Yoshinobu Yamamoto pitching on the mound for the Dodgers. And then you had Littell pitching on the mound for the Reds. Yoshinobu Yamamoto keeping the Dodgers in the game, and the Dodgers offense would take the lead in the fourth inning, and they now lead 3-2. Then the Reds would make a surge in the sixth, but Yamamoto would get out of the jam. Then once again, the Dodgers bullpen would give the Dodger fan base and Dave Roberts himself a heart attack, as you saw Sal Stewart come up and hit another RBI base hit, which was a single, and then a sac fly from Tyler Stevenson that would score a run. But the Dodgers offense, they would keep rolling. In the sixth inning, you saw Shohei Ohtani. He would hit a single, and then an RBI double from Betts would also score a run. So Shohei Ohtani would hit an RBI single, and then Mookie Betts would have an RBI double. And then after an intentional walk after the Reds intentionally walked Freddie Freeman, Hernandez would hit a 2 RBI double, making it a 7-4 Dodgers lead. And then in that seventh inning, the Dodgers, they would get a single from Rojas, a sac bunt, an intentional walk, then another RBI double from Betts, and that would extend the lead to 8-4 Dodgers. So and then, of course, Sasaki, he would come out and close the game for the Dodgers, and the Dodgers go on to win Game 2 and advance to the next round. They would win by the final score at 8-4. They would sweep the Cincinnati Reds in the wild card. So the defending champions, they sweep the Cincinnati Reds in 2 games. There was no decisive Game 3 like it was for the rest of the games. It was really the only Major League Baseball game that did not go to a decisive Game 3, which ended up being, the defending champions sweeping the Reds in 2. But a little stats here for you. Blake Snell in Game 1, he would strike out 9 Reds hitters to go on to win the game. Yoshinobu Yamamoto would also strike out a Reds hitter in Game number 2. And, well, really both guys, both Blake Snell and Yoshinobu Yamamoto both had 9 strikeouts to give the Dodgers a wild card win and move on to play the hot Philadelphia Phillies next. So that's the next game for the Dodgers. They will play the Philadelphia Phillies. And here's the thing. When we talk about the Dodgers, no 2 seasons are the same. You go back to last year, all the hype with Shohei Ohtani and what he's going to bring. You also bring over Teoscar Hernandez. I mean, the Dodgers spent the most money out of every team one offseason ago. Then you go into this season after winning the World Series, and you see the Dodgers, not necessarily a great start for the Dodgers. They didn't really get off to a hot start. And here's the thing. The Dodgers did show you at one point during the season how hard it really is to be the defending champions. And that really goes for any sport. It doesn't really matter what sport it is, whether if it's MLB or the NFL or the NBA. It's very difficult to be the defending champions going into the next season, because every team is going to give you their best shot. And you saw that throughout the whole entire season with the Dodgers. Every team is going to give you your best shot, and you got to become ready. You got to be prepared and ready to play. So the Dodgers, they were definitely ready and prepared to play in this wild card series against the Cincinnati Reds. I mean, you look at the Cincinnati Reds. They're a young ball club. They have a new manager, Terry Francona. I think if you look at Terry Francona, I think he's done an excellent job. He is a World Series winning manager with the Boston Red Sox. If you guys remember that 2013 World Series win when Terry Francona was the manager of the Boston Red Sox, he was also the manager of the Cleveland Guardians. So, he's got experience. He's got a championship under his belt. And here's the thing. The Cincinnati Reds, they're a young ball club, and they got some really good young guys. They got Ellie De La Cruz. They got Matt McLean. No, I don't even know how you say this guy's name. Novel, I can't even say it. Marte, by the way, excuse me for butchering his name, but Novel Marte, who really, to me, is a young, outstanding ball player. I think the one thing with Marte is that, he lacks some discipline up at the plate. He seems to swing at a lot of pitches, and sometimes he swings at a lot of balls outside the zone. But you look at the Reds, they're a young team. They'll learn. I absolutely love Ellie De La Cruz. He can hit, and not only that, he can absolute fly on the bases. So the guy's fast. He can hit. He has power. He can hit for power. But the Cincinnati Reds, let's be honest, they were definitely outmatched in this game against the Dodgers. The Dodgers with all that firepower in their lineup. You just look at the top three. Shohei Ohtani hitting in the leadoff spot. You have Mookie Betts hitting second. And then you have Freddie Freeman in the third spot. And then you really get no break after that, because then you have, Teoscar Hernandez, Max Muncy, Tommy Edman, Kike Hernandez. So, the list goes on. And if Will Smith was healthy, Will Smith would be in the lineup right now. But, coming back from a hairline fracture in his hand, painful. And, those things are not always easy to come back from, those types of injuries. So, overall, what I have to say, the pitching was absolute brilliant from the Dodgers. Blake Snell was brilliant. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, he would have been out of that first inning in game number 2 if Teoscar Hernandez hadn't had that error. But Teoscar Hernandez, he would end up making up for that error that he made later on in the game with an RBI base hit. So, look, the Dodgers, they're still a very dangerous team. You get really no breaks in their lineup. Like I said, when your top three in the lineup is Ohtani, Betts, and Freeman, that's a pretty scary lineup right there to start with. So, overall, the Philadelphia Phillies, this is definitely going to be a harder test for the Philadelphia Phillies. For the Dodgers against the Philadelphia Phillies. The Philadelphia Phillies, they've been excellent all season long. You look at the Bryce Harpers, and, you go, okay, this team is definitely for real. So it's definitely going to be a challenge, but you know what? Look, in the postseason, no game is an easy game, and the further you go along in the playoffs, the harder it gets. So the Dodgers, they got a tough test ahead of them. They play tomorrow night against the Philadelphia Phillies. So you definitely don't want to miss that tomorrow night. Saturday night, they play against Philly in Philadelphia to begin the series. So the Dodgers will not be playing at home to begin the series. They'll be playing in Philadelphia to begin this one. So that being said, that's all the time that I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed my show. Not only that, make sure to tune into my show every single week, because every single week I will have an NFL recap for you of a game. I have an NFL recap for you every single week. I'll be recapping a game every single week. So you definitely don't want to miss that. And not only that, also for the next couple of weeks, make sure you also tune in, baseball fans, because I will have recaps of Major League Baseball games for you as well for the next couple of weeks. So make sure you tune in to my show every week. And also hit that subscribe button. Also hit that like button as well. And also hit that notification button so that you don't miss an episode of my show. So make sure you hit it. You hit subscribe and that notification button, because I guarantee you will not regret hitting that subscribe button, because I have plenty of games and information and all that for you guys to go over. But you're listening to the Matt the Stat Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Matt the Stat. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Friday afternoon and the rest of your weekend.